Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of TUPE Talk. My name is John Hirsch, and for those of you who don't know me, I am the TUPE Site Coordinator here at Redwood High School in Larkspur, California. For those of you who didn't watch episode 1 and episode 2 of TUPE Talk, I definitely recommend you go back and watch that because some of what I'm going to say might make sense without it, but some of what I'm going to say is really building off of what we saw in episode number 1, where we talked about doing your background research, finding your why, finding your niche, and then for episode 2 we talked about recruiting a peer educator team. So this episode today is really about building on that. What you do as a site coordinator trying to build a TUPE program at your school once you've already developed your why and once you've already gotten your peer educator team. Now, when I started, my peer educator team was about 10 people, but it's grown since then, as has our niche, because we're being asked to do a number of different things. For example, last year, we spoke at our high school to all of our 9th graders. We spoke at 3 different middle schools. This year, we're speaking at 5 or 6 different middle schools. So we took on a larger team. But either way, whatever you need, that's what you have to figure out in terms of your numbers. And you need to figure out the kinds of things that I have on the board behind me here. First thing you're going to need to do is identify what you need to know to be prepared for when your peer educators walk in the door. Because, as I'll say later, you don't need to know everything, but you have to be able to give the perception that you know what you're talking about. Now again, that doesn't mean you need to know everything, but it means that you need to be able to hit the ground running. You need to appear as an authority to your team to the degree that they can put their trust in you to guide them. So what is it that you need to know? Well, you need to know what you're going to ask them to do so that you can start preparing them for that. Now, your county or your district, whoever is coordinating your education and your training for your team as well as for you, should be able to give you a lot of support in that way. For example, I was lucky enough to be trained by the one and only, the great Ira Sachnoff, who is really a guru for TUPE training across the state of California. And I've been able to stay in contact with Ira. He's been able to give me a lot of guidance along the way. But he really helped me to make sure that I had the technical expertise about nicotine and about vaping and all, trying to stay up to date on the research that is always coming out about vaping. Now, as part of that's going to be on you finding up-to-date research. And to some degree, you can challenge your team to keep up with that as well. But you really have to make sure that you have a solid foundation, that you have the facts, the effects. You have to figure out how much are you going to go into the biological effects of nicotine. Are you going to cover, you need to know the lungs, do you need to know the throat and the mouth if you're talking about chewing tobacco or some of the other oral tobacco products like snus or Zins that are coming out these days. You need to know how it affects the brain. Now, that's not all research that you just need to go find on your own, but you need to figure out what you need to know. For example, are you going to be talking to them about presentation skills, which is something I'll cover with you with my peer educator team in some of our later episodes. But my point here is that you need to figure out for yourself, what am I going to need to equip my peer educator team with? What tools do I need to be ready to put in their tool belts to support them so that they feel competent to do their job? Because their own sense of competence is going to be really important, as well as making sure that they feel like they belong. So you have to be able to put yourself in a place where you not only know it, but you can show confidently that you know what you're doing, so that they'll trust you. Now, we'll go over in just a minute where you can seek support, but you don't need to know everything. You need to clarify your vision. You need to make sure that you believe in why you're there, and you need to make sure that they believe that they're the right people for the job. And you need to give them permission to grow, and learn, and also give yourself permission to grow and learn. I know more today than I knew the first day I brought my first peer educator team in, because I have a growth mindset about this. Not only do I know there's new information, but what I need to do continues to evolve. For example, the first year that we did this, we were focused almost entirely on the content of our presentations. But as we learned together, we realized that we needed to work on presentation skills as well. And so a lot of what we focus on now has to do with not only what we're delivering, but how we're delivering it. And that's absolutely something I can help you with. If it's something you want me to, you can contact me, because I'm one of the people that you can seek support from. But there are lots of other people too. As I said, Ira Sachnoff taught me a great deal, and I know he's still around helping people, but there are lots of other people. Your school district should have a school district level coordinator, probably, that should be able to help put you in contact with resources. The other people that might be able to help you, one of the greatest resources around, at least in Northern California, but you can absolutely contact them from anywhere in the United States, is the Stanford team under Dr. Bonnie Halpern Fisher, and the fantastic tobacco prevention toolkit that they've created and expanded well beyond just tobacco. It's vaping products, other nicotine products. They're doing modules on cannabis products now. They're doing modules on cessation that I've worked with them on too. They're really doing great work, and they're a great group to call on for resources. If you're looking for more social emotional level resources to help interact with your audiences in your school or the schools you're going to, Hillary Roberts with Peer Advocates is a great source for that kind of information. We're working with Hillary because we're starting to get students coming up to us and basically asking us for help, whether it's with their friends or their family members or themselves. And we want to be able to direct them to the professional services they need, but also help to keep those conversations going in a really healthy way. If you're looking for another school district level place to look, you can look to the Contra Costa School District over in the East Bay, the Northern California East Bay. They do some really, really good work, and they're really well equipped to help in that way. But like I said, I'm here to help. You can look in my email in the comments on the Loom link and on our YouTube channel. And like I said, go fight the good fight and let me know if I can help. Thanks for joining us.